Hello, acquaintances. Welcome back, once again. Good to see you're enjoying our time together. If you're only just joining us, this is the second installment of Walter Welcomes, and you've only just arrived? Apologies. But don't feel ashamed. I'm not turning you away, unlike some people I've met in my life. So it's quite fitting that today's story is titled Unwelcomed. Things and people that intrude without your knowing, or sometimes they do with you looking square at them in the eye. Scary when you don't see a familiar face. So what happens when you can feel something's intruding, but you can't see it? If looks could kill, Vanessa would be like poison to any man who dared lean in for the kiss. You'd have to be in a league of your own to receive that gift. Vanessa knew who she wanted, but alas, it didn't appear right in front of her at the bar and grill doors, hoping to serve her bottled Coke. Instead, it was some schmuck, she thought, checking her out a second too long. Lunch hour away from her busy life as a bank clerk was the only time her brain could rest in the day, to brush off the fog of so many numbers and annoying customers. In here, she could relax and enjoy her favorite burger without being judged. It soon arrived in front of her, the juicy meat patty held together in rich lettuce and onion, with the grease squeezing out from its soft sesame seed buns. The smell of it always had the same effect on her. It made her tilt her head back in ecstasy as a slight shiver went down her neck. She would indulge in its taste and come out feeling full. This one felt much more thicker than usual, and she could definitely feel it in her stomach. The waiter then soon arrived with the bill. As she clutched her belly to sit forward and say thank you, she looked up to see the man delivering her receipt. A fine man with a chiseled jaw and clean from head to toe. She became a bit flustered and stumbled at first before thanking him. The waiter gave her a toothy grin as he walked away. She would give cash and then leave, but she felt the urge to be brave and come to him to pay by card. She wanted to get a good look at him before she left. This was her dessert. "Can I do by card, please?" she asked, all coy. "Sure you can. You usually do cash, right?" Now that was odd, she thought. "Wait, how do you know?" "I see you in here quite a bit. I could tell you haven't seen me." "Oh god, yeah. You noticed that? It's just me being me," Vanessa chuckled. "Pretty cute if you ask me. Maybe you could show me more of that." Vanessa was so close to letting her jaw drop to the floor as she heard that. Her cheeks went red as she couldn't contain her excitement. Yeah, sure. Maybe we could spend time at yours? Restaurants are a bit cliché." "Fine by me." "I'm Alex, by the way." "Oh yeah, hi Alex. I'm Vanessa. I should probably ask if you want my number." "Sure thing," Alex said. The two exchanged their numbers, and both parted ways after Vanessa's card was swiped. They shared a little smile and a wave as Alex stayed at the counter, while Vanessa headed back to her workspace. She felt great. Finally, someone decent looking, she thought, and a meeting tonight. This couldn't be real, she thought. But it was. Sitting back down at her desk again, ready to work, felt like Christmas to her. But that's when she started to feel full again. Like after Christmas dinner. Her stomach felt like she had ate the burger again. It wasn't hurting, but she definitely could feel it press harder at her blazer buttons. She shrugged it off and continued to work. 2 hours had gone by, but the pressure did not. Vanessa felt like she was carrying twins, and it looked like she was 4 months pregnant. Her stomach growled and sloshed around as she undid her blazer buttons, but then she noticed the pressure building behind her shirt buttons. Her stomach was expanding. She could feel the heat of embarrassment across her forehead as she walked away from her post to head to the toilet. Once inside one of the stalls, she undid her buttons to see what was happening. Her stomach felt heavy but squidgy. There was something inside her weighing her down. That's when, after she poked it, it kicked, but at full force, knocking her back a little. Vanessa then felt the pain again as it made her belly grow. She could feel it go over her trouser waistline as it now pushed her trouser button. Her stomach lifted and was getting bigger by the minute. Now was the time to leave. As she got up, her legs felt the strain. Whatever was happening, it was getting heavier to carry. Vanessa rushed to her car as fast as she could and drove home while her colleagues and customers looked on in confusion. Her gut was hitting the steering wheel as she drove. She could feel the rubber wheel push along her soft skin as she steered towards home. Once she was home, though, the pain only got worse, and she stretched and expanded even more. It took a toll on her knees as she wanted to head up to her room. The furthest she could waddle to was her couch. Vanessa's stomach roared as she couldn't do anything without being in tight, agonizing pain. Her skin stretched and her trousers were unbuttoned, and the fabric was almost on its way to tearing. That's when she heard the doorbell go. For the faintest second, she escaped the pain to realize that she knew who was at the door. Her eyes rushed over to the clock, and she realized the time. Her date was at the door. Come in, she said with a whimper. Alex came in the door, calling out to find her. Alex, before you come in, please don't be shocked. What do you mean? I just need your help with this. Help with what? Alex came round the corner to the living room and saw his date sat on the couch. Not the gorgeous woman he saw at his workplace, but a bulging, sweating mess that sat in the middle of her couch. Her belly sat resting over her legs. She had been profusely sweating, which made it all over her clothes and the couch, and the smell was downright awful. What the hell happened? Alex shouted. I don't know. I've been like this since I ate at lunch. Alex went a bit closer to see what was going on, but Vanessa's stomach growled as he came closer, like a dog at the gate. She clutched her stomach again as it began to shake. Did you get an allergic reaction? No, I couldn't have. I have it every week, she said, gritting her teeth as her belly continued to moan. That's when she coughed. It was the thickest phlegm you could ever see coming out of a woman's mouth. Clear in color and landing with a thud on the carpet. It took all the noise out of the room, leaving it in dead silence as the two looked at each other. Vanessa then coughed again, only now it was trickling down her chin. It was green. A slight hiccup left her, and then her stomach roared louder than ever. Now whatever was inside of her was bubbling. Vanessa moaned in pain as her belly still expanded. It was bubbling like a deep cauldron, and soon enough, more green ooze started to leave Vanessa's mouth as she coughed and spluttered.
"Help me, Alex!"
she screamed. Just then the ooze squirted out from her belly button. It almost hit Alex's shoes as it dribbled down to her trousers. More slowly squished through, and all Alex did was just stand there.
"Help me!"
"I'm sorry, Vanessa. I don't want to spoil the sauce," Alex said. Vanessa's eyes opened like her belly button. She wanted to shout her confusion, but the green goo vomited out of her mouth, splatting onto the carpet floor. Alex then just stepped back from the shaking mess that was his date, and just simply watched. Vanessa was just writhing in pain, her stomach turning now a shade red as the green slime poured out of her belly button and mouth until eventually the noises stopped, and Vanessa went limp. Alex looked at his watch and raised his eyebrows as he slowly walked over to the window to draw the curtain. His fingers pushed her stomach and more oozed out. No screaming from the victim, and he dipped his fingers inside of it, feeling the consistency. Good batch. Might have to explain the green color though. You make really good sauce, Vanessa. We often at times like to know what our food is made out of. But in the end, is it not just a pile of mush as it enters down into your gut? I wouldn't be so picky if I were you. Animals eat what they can get. Meat, scrap, plants, babies. Don't leave your food out for too long, or it'll get cold.
Hello, Mr. Walter. This is Brad, the assistant of Mr. Claude Stones of Stones Co. This is a call briefing you on the request you made on December the 20th. Your inquiry was about the production of your show and that you have sent in a request for being renewed for a second season. Unfortunately, Mr. Stones has taken his final judgment in after consulting the producers and TV distributors associated with the company, and it appears that your request is unlikely to happen at this time. This will cease your contract and royalties immediately. Hopefully by the time you hear this, the company will send you a letter explaining the reasons why. Okay, thank you for your time. If you would like to return the call for any other inquiries, please feel free to do so, and I'm sure either myself or other members of staff will be available. Thank you.